Now, the National Police Association has a message for people after stories like this one involving Kevin Nishida. Take a listen to this.
This year, over 50,000 law enforcement officers have been assaulted while on duty. A vast number of these attacks were filmed and uploaded to social media in the pursuit of likes and attention.
What they want to do is film you instead of like, what can I do to help this officer?
Together, we can change this disturbing trend.
If that individual would have hit the right spot, it could have been it for me. Last time I would have saw my wife, my kids.
I'm Mike Solon. Law enforcement officers need your support. If you see an officer under attack, then follow these simple steps in order to help. 1. Call 911 and give the officer's exact location. 2. Ask the officer if you can assist. If the officer accepts, then do whatever you can do to safely help. 3. If the officer declines, then start filming and be a good witness. It's time to stop filming and start helping.
So the National Police Association put that PSA out on Thanksgiving Day, asking bystanders to stop using their phones to record incidents and instead actually jump into the fray and assist officers who appear to be in trouble. We have some statistics from the FBI. More than 60 officers have been killed from January through September of this year. Over 60,000 officers were assaulted in 2020. And of those, close to 3,000 officers were assaulted with firearms. We'd like to bring in somebody with the National Police Association, someone who would understand this very, very clearly. Joining us right now with a big smile on her face is Betsy Brantner-Smith, a retired sergeant of the Naperville, Illinois Police Department. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you've spent decades serving your community, and maybe you can shed some light on this. First of all, this video played, and you're not surprised that there were different responses, reactions to it. Why do you think perhaps this video would be seen as controversial?
Well, there is a small percentage of the population that is anti-police. That's one of the reasons that the National Police Association exists. We are trying to fight the false narrative that American law enforcement is somehow dangerous to our communities. And we actually released that PSA much earlier this year. We just retweeted it because the NYPD had an incident that they put out on Twitter that said, look at our officer being attacked. No one jumped in to help that officer. And we see this time and again, but more often, we see people who are now jumping in to help police officers. So we're not asking people to jump into the fray, but we are asking people to call 911, talk to dispatch, and if they're able to, communicate with the officer and say, can I help you? Look, I had citizens jump in to help me when I was in physical altercations with people in the Chicago area. And I am so grateful for those citizens. Most people support the police, but there's always going to be that small percentage of people who want to continue with the false narrative that American law enforcement is somehow dangerous to our communities. So that's why the National Police Association exists.
Do you think that there is an underreporting of the kinds of violence that police officers are seeing today? Do you think that, you mentioned this false narrative, but the numbers should speak for themselves. There are far more incidents of assaults on police officers in 2020 and 2021 than there have been in previous years. Is that correct?
No, actually, maybe about 10,000 more, but annually for a long time now, we have seen the attacks on law enforcement stay consistent at about 50,000 a year. You know, when I started in 1980 as a police officer, we were losing about 250 officers to line of duty deaths. Now, of course, that's high because of COVID, but there is, yes, now an atmosphere that says, go ahead and attack law enforcement, resist, don't comply. That PSA that you just showed, the title is Comply Now, Complain Later. That's our theme. We're asking people comply with lawful orders by law enforcement. And if you don't like how law enforcement acted, what they said, what they did, there is a system that helps to deal with that. But the cases that we're seeing where people are getting hurt, it's because they're not complying with lawful orders. So let's try and help law enforcement, but let's also comply with lawful orders.
Well, and there are people who would say that recording these instances is actually a way of holding police officers accountable. I mean, we have video cameras in our pockets now, which is, more of a recent development when you look at history, and that some things wouldn't be brought to light if people weren't recording on their phones. But just to be clear, and we're out of time now, Betsy, but I want to make sure that you're saying that this PSA is actually to inspire people when they see an officer who is overwhelmed or being assaulted to pick up the phone and call 911 for backup?
Absolutely. Call 911, say where the officer is, and then ask the officer, can I help you? Very often a police officer will say, absolutely, you can help me. And that's what we need to do. We need to support our police and stop vilifying them.
Betsy, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.